My snack boy has a first name. It's Trry. My snack boy has a second name. It's Crummitt. It's snack time.
Today we've got our first in the Three's Company poetry contest, and it's great. It's from Patrick, and it's about Mr. Furley. Thank you, Patrick. And let's read Patrick's Three's Company poem. Furley, you gotta get up early to fool this guy. Furley, he's one smart cookie looking for some nookie. Jack, don't even try. Furley, the man is not burly. In fact, he's kinda girly, but hey, let it slide. Furley, with hair kinda curly, he's out of this worldly. Come knock on his door. Thank you, Patrick. Oh, thank you. That was beautiful. And people, please, more Three's Company poetry. I know it's kind of random, but it's really fun. Sit down and write us a little poem about your favorite character on Three's Company. Today's snack is about nature's revenge. Back in the 6th grade, at the bus stop, we had a juvenile delinquent named Tony. Tony was a latchkey kid from down the street who liked to beat us all up, and he'd take turns. Like, I would say 2 days of the week, he'd kind of beat me up a little. And when I say beat me up, I mean, he didn't beat us up bad. We didn't have black eyes, but he would, like, throw us around, or he'd trip us. He'd embarrass us. He'd be like, I don't know what he'd say. I mean, my last name's Crummett, so he'd be like, crumb cake, crumb bum, and then he'd trip us. And then there was Mona Moorshed, and he'd be like, Mona Moorhead, and he'd trip her. And we didn't find it too amusing. But of course, we were not empowered individuals. It was the 70s, and we were kids. That's why sometimes nature has a way of getting back at the meanies. And today I'm going to talk about how nature, and not us kids, gave Tony just desserts. Have you ever heard about how sometimes a guy does a bad thing, like steal money from an old lady, kill somebody, rape someone, desecrate a church, and then he goes to jail for his crime and, let's just say, gets treated real friendly by some of the male prisoners? Well, Tony got a similar revenge. You see, Tony was raped at the bus stop. Now, rape is not a funny thing to anybody. In no way is Snackboy or anyone here in the Snackboy studios advocating rape. But let me tell you what happened. See, Tony had a dog named Lady, and Lady was a beautiful little poodle. And as many of our dogs do, of the bitch variety, Lady let off a certain scent when she started getting ornery and frisky. And Lady's scent was all over Tony one morning when he came to beat us and trip us at the bus stop. So he comes along stinking of Lady. Of course, we couldn't smell it. But a certain huge dog, Doberman Pinscher named Butch up the street, could smell Lady on Tony. And we could hear it. All of a sudden, over the fence, this dog never jumped this fence. I swear this Doberman Pinscher weighed 100 and some odd pounds. He was huge, huge. And to us kids, he was like a giant. He jumped over the fence, and before Tony knew what was happening, Butch was upon him. And not only was Butch upon him, but face first, Tony sunk down to the bus top, and in front of our eyes, Tony was raped. And his clothes were stolen, but he was basically raped by Butch. And I could just hear Tony going, "No, Butch, Butch, Butch!" And Tony's like, just going to town. And let me tell you, the dog was basically well endowed, and I'm sure at that age, much more endowed than Tony. And even though he has clothes on, the effect was quite pornographic and violent to our childhood eyes. And at first we were going to call for help, and Mona was like, Terry, Claire, Wendy, John, Jason, should we go run for help? And we were like, yeah, who's going to run for it? Then we looked down, and Tony was like, help! And Butch just going to town. You couldn't even see Tony because all you could see was Butch's body humping, and under him somewhere was Tony screaming out for a light at the end of the tunnel to help him. And that's when we all started to watch and realize, as we looked back and forth at each other, that we were actually enjoying the rape, much like you'd enjoy pay-per-view. And we decided not to go get help. And the next day, I think you should know that our story does not end on a happy note. As we came to the bus stop, Tony decided that since we didn't go get help, he would beat us and trip us all. So he did. And ladies and gentlemen, that is my story of rape, revenge, and nature.
Cut.